You're currently watching me unbox the Model F keyboard, and there's a little bit of a funny story behind why it looks like this. Essentially, I got the UPS special. The package was clearly kicked around, and it arrived completely opened on my doorstep. You know, all the fun stuff you want out of a $600 keyboard when you add ship. Whoops, I'm sorry. In Canadian dollars with the customs fee, it actually totals out to $1,007.11. Plaster that on screen with confetti, green screen fireworks, and a bunch of other funny effects. Spent that much on a keyboard to essentially have it kicked to my doorstep, and for it to all fall out of the packaging because they couldn't afford to spend 20 cents more on tape and packing foam. Joe from Model F Keyboards claims that this is a rare situation, though, you know, just from holding the keyboard, I could easily see how it would break through the quote-unquote fiber-reinforced tape, which is essentially just a small amount of that tape that Amazon uses for its packages. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying this keyboard. Honestly, what I'd recommend at this point is just going and finding an older Model F keyboard on eBay and just cutting some foam to replace the decaying foam inside that board. This was not worth it, 100%. Based on Cryos Rand's review, I would assume if you were to get a half-decent Model F keyboard from the 80s, you would probably get a comparable product, unless you wanted like an ultra-compact board, which I guess didn't exist back then. Yeah, so the foam inserts got bent, and I thought that I was missing a bunch of parts. Turns out that I wasn't missing parts, I was just not thinking clearly. Here's the email thread that I had with Joe from Model F Keyboards. I was kind of passive-aggressive in the end because of this fucking smiley face. It's just not a great idea to give a funny smiley face when someone's clearly pissed off about having spent $1,007.11 on a jumbled mess. Putting a little smiley face at the end of your email is like saying, hee hee, haha, we're just kidding around here. We're just joking, but like, you did get fucked, hee hee. Just comes off really badly. It just makes me never want to spend money with you again. Not like I have any option because, you know, there's nothing to buy from the new Model F keyboard guys after you've bought the new Model F keyboard. But yeah, I'm just kind of salty that the foam came all bent out of shape, and I'm salty about the experience I received afterwards. I spent $25 per piece of foam, right? And they're just saying, oh no, we're not going to replace it because it's still usable, blah, 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 blah. And dude, it's not about the fact that it's still usable. It's about the fact that I spent $50 on these pieces of foam. Well, one of the pieces came with the first aid kit, but if you're going to go price the other one at $25, I'd assume the other one to be somewhere around that range as well. And yeah, you're charging an insane amount for something and you're entirely content with it being received in less than pristine condition. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, it works, but the customer experience that you provided was fucking shit. You're not just selling a product at this price range, you're selling an experience, and the experience was garbage. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry. One thing I'd like to point out from the email thread is that Joe asked if I could elaborate on how Canadian customs work. Well, I was too heated to write something coherent at the time, and I had no time to write anything regardless around that time. So here's the belated explanation for you. The tracking website gives you a warning about needing to pay customs a day or two before the package arrives at your house. If you don't pay it online or at the door, the package goes to a warehouse for you to pick up. That's about it. I don't know what kinds of items require customs, how the prices of customs scale with weight or anything like that, and I don't really care to research any of this, to be honest. I just personally find it odd that tracking websites seemingly don't warn the receiver or the sender that customs will be applied to the package until the very last minute. It's just, why? So that's generally how customs work, and I have experienced that with packages from other countries before, but this time was a little weird because UPS was now charging me a brokerage fee for them to clear the package through customs, and I had never encountered this before. Essentially, in a situation like this, you can let UPS clear the package, or you can clear the package yourself, which means filling out a government form to bring it across the border. In the situation where you clear the package yourself, you pay the customs fee and you fill out the form, and it's not that hard, honestly. Doing it yourself allows you to bypass the UPS processing or brokerage fee, but by the time I learned that I could do this, it was already too late. I didn't even know that I could have done this at first. They hide away the option to self-clear so that you're less likely to click on it and so that you're more likely to pay the processing fee or brokerage fee, whatever. It's been a long time, but I remember the processing fee being something like 60 or 70 Canadian dollars. And in total, the brokerage fee along with the customs fee was $171.41. So yeah, this would have been a fair good chunk cut off had I self-cleared. I didn't know until it was too late. This is also a slightly irrelevant tangent, but at this point, I don't really care about reading your fucking thesis statement over there on the green paper. You know, maybe that would have been cool. Maybe I would have thought, oh, wow, that's so cool. It's that old type of paper. Oh, how epic. But at this point, I'm so burnt out on reading the Model F keyboard team's BS. I'm sorry, but look at the amount of reading here in this manual. Just look at this. It's just wholly unnecessary. There's just way too much filler, and most of it is just copy-paste posts made by other people in keyboard forums. On top of that, I read the response to Cryos ran, and it was also just filled to the brim with BS filler. The page was basically trying to save face when the reality is you sold a ludicrously expensive product, a keyboard, to people before telling them, hey, just figure it out for yourself, instead of teaching them how to begin programming it for themselves. I'm glad that you eventually went and made the video showing how to use QMK and VIA software with the keyboard. I'm happy about that. I'm thankful that that transpired out of Cryos Ran's review, but I'm sorry, the 50 pages of saving face is just completely unwarranted. The other thing that I'm annoyed about when it comes to the packaging is not just the fact that they used 10 cents worth of tape, it's the fact that they used the cheapest possible packaging. I'm happy that they crammed a lot of stuff into a small package. They're not being wasteful, blah, 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 save the environment. Like, cool, fine. But come on. At the very least, you could have put like a foam piece guarding the foam inserts, or you could have used foam pieces that connect and don't just cap off the ends of the keyboard. The foam inserts are guaranteed to bend if they get under the keyboard, and guess what? That's what happened. From what I remember, the foam pieces capping off the ends of the keyboards didn't even fill out the entire height of the box, so it was pretty inevitable that they would fall off. Anyway, they did put in 2 of these little air pockets, but obviously that did absolutely nothing. The one thing I'm happy about in this situation is that it's sticking it to the absolute fucking retards. Well, me and whoever else got a damaged package who are willing to spend this kind of money on this kind of stuff. I'm very happy about that. But the thing I'm a little salty about is the fact that it happened to me. It happened to me. Oh God, I hate this part of the email, especially the last part of the email where he's like, please make sure to read the manual before installation, blah, 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 because he saw that I didn't understand that 4 of the barrels were meant to not have flippers and springs. Around the same time that I got this package, my TrueNAS server's iSCSI share broke because the SFP Plus ports on both my computer and the server broke during a power surge, whatever. Anyway, because I was dealing with that and a bunch of other stuff, I wasn't really thinking that clearly when I sent my initial email. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is warranted then. Maybe I should be told to read the manual when I didn't realize something that obvious. Though still, it just rubs me the wrong way after having read most of that stuff on the website and realizing that a lot of it is filler junk. Anyway, yeah, don't buy this shit. Just buy an older Model F. I think you'll have less of a headache because it'll be like, oh, okay, cool, this is broken. You'll just expect a puzzle rather than a completed piece of art. But yeah, if I haven't made it absolutely clear, fuck this. I am so tired of this. Like, I'm sorry, you can expect the DIY community to deal with a bunch of bullshit because it's the DIY community, whatever. But expecting them to just deal with bent parts, software bugs, and zero support? No, fuck you. Oh, you didn't know about the software bugs? Well, I don't know if people have figured this out yet, but a good number of people have been having this quirky little issue where the keyboard stops working after their PC goes to sleep, forcing them to unplug and plug in the keyboard again. I don't know if my keyboard has this issue, to be honest, because I haven't actually used the keyboard enough. I'll be honest, I bought the keyboard on impulse because I heard it was better than a Model M keyboard, but boy, was I wrong. I had listened to a typing demo, but I didn't pick up on how absolutely pingy the keyboard was. That was honestly my bad and has nothing to do with the new Model F people. But yeah, I essentially heard, ooh, better keyboard, and pressed buy. Upon using the keyboard for a day, I basically gave myself a massive headache and put the keyboard into storage immediately afterward. Again, I'm kind of glad that I had this negative experience. I 100% deserved it, and I hope that it grooms me into not doing this in the future. Anyway, spend 20 cents more on tape and packaging per customer, please. Thank you.